Forests make up a big part of Belize's terrain, and they also play a vital role in regulating the climate and are critical to addressing the impact of climate change. The value of a forest to tackle climate change is seen in its ability to reduce emissions from deforestation and degradation and to enhance carbon stocks. So a mechanism called REDD+ seeks to tap into the value of forests. The method compensates countries to protect their forests. But in order for it to work, the indigenous communities that live around or inside forested areas must understand how REDD+ works. So in Belize, the National Climate Change Office, through REDD+, is working to raise the profile of this incentive-based program. The West is one of 3 regions where REDD+ is expected to be implemented. So on Thursday, REDD+ Belize opened a 2-day immersion and sensitization program for a group of students.
It's just to feel the experience of the forest, feel the experience of what it really means when you're really talking, because most of the people are just talking about the forest, but they don't have the experience of enjoying in a way. So it's more or less sharing the information that so far we have achieved in this readiness process here in Belize. Start engaging them at the early stage. As I said before, no, they are the next generation. It's not a point where you just create capacity among adults and then leave the next generation without really knowing. So we want to engage them because they will take over sooner or later. So the idea is that they start getting the concept of REDD+, because so many people are talking about that without really understanding. We want to be sure that they start understanding. This is part of what the readiness process of REDD+ here in Belize has to do. It's part of our mandate. And this is one of the events of many that will come with the students.
The talk of climate change, carbon stocks, and forest degradation can be technical, so to simplify it for students, facilitator Tanya Santos-Neal has localized the topics inside the classroom and provide them with field activities to learn firsthand about the complex topics in the context of REDD+ in Belize.
What we're doing here is trying to break it down in language that the young people can understand, bringing it into the context of their daily lives, showing them, okay, when we talk about climate change in your community, this is what it means. You'll see more frequency of floods, you'll see higher intensity floods, for example, or in certain regions you'll be having drought. Maybe some of you are children of farmers or have other family who are farmers and are suffering some of the consequences. We even brought into light the concept of the eutrophication that took place in the New River. And so it's bringing it in very real examples that they can relate to on a daily basis, and also including with what they themselves can do to help mitigate those effects of climate change. We have a field trip shortly this afternoon where we'll go out to one of the sustainably managed forest areas here in the Chiquibul Forest Reserve, where they will see firsthand how actual sustainable management occurs in the forest. They will see all the work that goes into establishing the plans, which involve tree inventories, which involve targeting which trees are going to be left as seed trees for future crops. They're going to see how the entire chain of how the logging occurs in a sustainable manner, from the planning to the falling, and then the production for export of good quality, soundly produced timber in Belize.
40 students from 4 high schools in the Cayo districts are participating in a number of activities during the 2-day workshop. These students are members of school environmental clubs who are hoping to use the sessions to raise awareness in their schools and wider communities.
I'm hoping to learn more about climate change, and I want to carry out a message to the people of Belize to teach them about what climate change is. And for those who don't know what climate change is a change in the expected pattern of the weather. And I also want Belize to know that it is simple, like just picking up a piece of garbage on the side of the road. You can change the nation of Belize.
My club and I were here because we want to learn more about how we can, as a youth, can make an impact in the environment or community, and how we can set an example to teach others to follow.
Is there any specific thing maybe that you don't know enough about and that you're hoping to learn about over these 2 days?
Yeah, climate change, and we want to make people aware of what's going on around the world.
The Central American Community Agroforestry Indigenous and Peasant Coordinating Association is helping Belize to get ready for REDD Plus as one of the implementers on the ground. Representative James Mesh says that they expect to support the environmental clubs to push the conservation message of REDD Plus.
Would come in their schools, and then we follow up with the leaders of the school and with the students to see if information was passed on. Or sometimes they themselves, they would call meetings, like for example we have a club here today, and then they would pass on the information to the other students in their schools. So we come and we follow up to see if the information is being passed on, and if in whichever way we can support them later on, then we continue doing that.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.